welcome back to Local Black Girls Podcast, where we are dressed up today in our Black Panther gear. And we are very inspired and empowered right now.
By Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, great movie, recommended, 10 out of 10. I was very emotional after watching it. Well, I'm just an emotional person overall, but great movie to watch, especially during Black History Month. Also, another good one is American Skin. That's a good one. There's two good movies that came out during Black History Month. Great, both recommend for people who are trying to expand their education when it comes to Black issues and everything, and understanding the history and why things are set up the way they are. So if you want to further your education, check both of those out. So yeah, but on this podcast we want to talk about the Black Panther Party just a little bit, and then we also want to talk about experimentation on Black people throughout
history.
Yeah. So it's really messed up. Like, looking into the stuff, both me and my sister doing our own personal research on everything. For me, I started to look at, they call them the Fathers of Gynecology, but the Mothers of Gynecology, because it was white men who were experimenting on Black slave women. Obviously, like, they had no choice. Like, what was her name? Shoot, I should have wrote some stuff down. Actually, I think I sent it to you on Snap.
You did?
I did, but basically it was three main ones that were experimented on. I forgot the first lady's name, but over 30 failed surgeries on her. Like, can you imagine? Mind you, they never used any anesthesia because they believed, mind you, they had it, but they didn't use it because they believed that Black people did not feel pain. Like, so any pain that was inflicted, even though, like, you're moving and, like, obviously when you feel pain, you, like, show physical signs of you're in pain, they did not care. And sometimes it was so gruesome for the white doctors that they had other slaves come in and hold them down because they didn't want to.
Yeah, and then, like, on top of that, I mean, it's been told, throughout history that, Black people cannot experience pain, which is obviously why they didn't give them anesthesia and stuff like that. But, like, I mean, it's shown today too. Like, Black women are, like, more likely to die, like, childbirth and stuff like that because of that, because they think that, like, they don't need that much, like medication.
They don't
and stuff
take
like
us
that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And that's why, when they say, well, all that stuff's in the past. No, it may be in the past, but it still trickles down and affects how we're treated today in present time. Shoot that video. Is your phone on?
That's fine.
Like Dr. James Marion Sims have been considered the fathers of modern gynecology, but it's actually the invisible enslaved women and children who were experimented on by Dr. Sims who are the true pioneers. Let's talk about the Mothers of Gynecology. Three of these women's names are known: Anarcha Westcott, Lucy Zimmerman, and Betsy Harris. Three of these women's names are known. Anarcha was only 17 when she endured 30 painful and unsuccessful surgeries. Doctors held the belief that Black people, especially Black women, did not feel pain. A racist belief that permeated. Anarcha was only 17. It's in medicine today. It's in medicine today. It's in medicine today.
That's it, and it still carries on till this day, which is extremely messed up. But I know we wanted to talk about some of the experiments that were done on Black people in the Black community.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to be talking about a Black guy who got, like, radiation experiments done on him, and yeah, his name was Vertus Wellborn Hardman. Was a victim of an unethical secret U.S. government radiation experiment in 1928. Hardman was born on March 9th, 1922 in Lay Station, Indiana, known as one of the earliest Negro settlements in the United States. When Hardman was 5 years old, he was one of 9 children that took part in a terrifying medical experiment, where he and other children were severely irradiated during a medical experiment conducted at the local county hospital. To get parental consent, the experiment was misrepresented as a new therapy for the scalp fungus known as ringworm. The radiation of the skull led to symptoms, but also to a severe necrosis of bone all throughout his life. At the time, many human radiation experiments were conducted on African Americans and were funded by the United States Department of Defense and United States. And I mean, just
And
it goes on and on.
to pick up for what you were saying, like they would convince black people like, hey, we're doing free healthcare, we're doing free this or blah blah blah, and then they would like give them something completely different and experiment on them just to see. So that just goes to show that they see us as guinea pigs. So going back to today, when we talk about the COVID vaccine, that's why black people, and it's funny because they're pushing it more into the black communities, trying to say, oh, black people need to get it because we're more susceptible of getting COVID. No, if anything, if you look at the statistics, white people are getting it more than any other race.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't trust it. That's all I'm gonna say. Is I don't trust it.
And also the syphilis experiment too, and the Tuskegee.
The Tuskegee Experiment.
Tuskegee.
You say Tuskegee.
Tuskegee Experiment. Sorry. Yeah, I mean they literally would do experiments on black men, and they were telling them they were like, you know, for syphilis, that they were treating them for that, but then really they weren't, and like they thought that like these black people thought that they were being helped during this, and
this is why we don't trust the government, because they have always used this to see how things work.
Yeah.
And have used this to their own benefit.
I mean,
and
that's literally the reason why like there's medicine today, is because they experimented on us.
What's her name? The lady who we still use her cancer cells today?
Oh my gosh.
Shoot. What is her name? That's gonna bother me.
Hold up, no. We gotta give this lady credit. No.
She had cancer, and they used her cells because her cells, I guess, were reproducing at a faster rate. Like, so they used it, turned it into medicine to help other people and everything. But they didn't even tell her family. Like, after she passed away and everything, they profited all the money. Didn't even tell her family. And her family, I think they Henrietta Lacks. There's a documentary on that. I think there's a movie too. So definitely look into that too if you're more curious about that. But time and time again, it just shows that they have used us, experimented on us for their gain, their benefit. And it's sad. It's disgusting. Like, how can you look at me and think because I have a darker skin complexion that I don't feel pain? And then going back to that, like, we may have not physically been there for slavery and everything, but that's trauma that was never fixed, never healed, no therapy.
Yeah.
Trauma after trauma after trauma.
And
no therapy.
We all know it can pass down like generationally.
Yes, there's actually studies that trauma is passed down through DNA. So there was a thing, it was talking about how alcoholism, like the trait of addiction, can be passed down through DNA. And there was other people saying, well, because I had a conversation, I was like, okay, if alcoholism can be passed down through DNA, then how come trauma? Over generations of trauma, and then you wonder why the black community is in the shape it is now. And also a lot of black community, we don't talk about therapy and healing and restoring yourself.
Because like, you know, we don't even want to like be like involved. We don't want another like white person trying to tell us, you know, this is what's wrong with us.
Yeah.
But then
most of the time they've been the cause of that themselves.
Yeah.
Like, people just need to understand. Put yourself in black people's shoes and try to understand where we're coming from. Like, I remember I was trying to explain to my friends, I was like, I'm not taking that COVID vaccine. Like, I don't trust it. Like, you may trust it because history is shown to be on your side. History is shown to not be on my side. Mm-hmm. So why am I going to submit and trust these people when they have given me every reason to not trust them? Mm-hmm. Every reason to not trust them. But the Tuskegee Experiment, how many men was it? 400? They gave, like, the experiment was like 400 black men, and I think they gave 300 of them like syphilis, and like 200. They did something else with the other ones. And mind you, they had the cure, but we're literally like watching them suffer.
Yeah.
And would not give it
because they wanted to see how like the natural process of like them happening, what would happen, basically.
Yeah, they basically said, we're gonna watch you die, and then we're gonna study it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna use your body parts for science.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what I also learned is that when a black person enters the hospital, other people, they see everyone as a dollar sign, but when black people enter a hospital, they purposely try not to treat them so they can get their organs to donate them. And
also on top of that, sometimes like when, you know, like a black person that like could be dead or, you know, could be like, you know, to the cusp of dying almost, they will take their body, by the way, they will not let anybody identify the body. They would take the body and they literally would use it for, you know, like science to do experiments on it. They would ship it over to other places and, you know, do stuff on it. And this happens all the time with black people all the time.
It's sick. And the fact that they don't teach about these things in school, I mean, obviously there's a reason, because there's a certain agenda that they're pushing, and they don't want it to, you know, skew the other way, but people need to understand that things are set up to purposely fulfill someone else's plan. And I don't know.
I mean, we literally live in a capitalistic world where like people were like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Yeah.
Like the whole, I know this is kind of off topic, but I don't know if you, the whole stock things where people were buying like GameStop stock and all the rich people were mad because they were trying to like sell it or whatever. I don't know all the details, but basically the rich were mad because the poor people bought it. Well, I don't want to say poor, but I say it. Poor and middle class bought a bunch of stocks when it was like low, and now it's like high because they bought a bunch of it, and all the rich people had to buy it back. And they were so pissed. They were like, this is stealing, this is thievery. They were like, no, you're mad because the poor man won in this situation. But to get back onto topic, with the Tuskegee Experiment, all the men, they, like, all the families, all the people, because mind you, I don't know exactly, I don't think you can, like, transfer syphilis like that. Can you? Okay. All I know is that the men who they got, like, no money, no nothing, no, what would you call it?
No, well, actually, I think they gave the families, like, some money, but it was, like, years after once.
No, I mean, like, I meant, like, while they were alive, they didn't, like, get anything.
No. Well, no, actually, they said that they were going to, give them, like, they were giving them, like, $1 a day. That's basically what was happening. But, I mean, they all died anyway,
Where did
so it was,
you read
like...
that at?
No, I was researching some stuff, but yeah, they were, like, saying that they were giving them, like, $1 a day and stuff like that, you know, after they would experiment on them, but...
Oh, wow, $1. What can you buy with it? Well, I mean, it was a different time, but still, like, $1 to be experimented on? And my thing is, you have to be a really sick person to watch someone suffer purposely. Know you did that to them on purpose, but then study them.
No, but then again, Shabri, we're not human.
Right.
We're not human. So, right. I mean, testing on us and doing experiments on us, it's not anything, because we're not human.
I mean, that's how it's seen in the medical field and a lot of other racist people's eyes.
Yeah.
I need to stop arguing with people on social media.
Yeah,
I know, it's very, very off topic, but I like to bully racist people on Instagram.
Yeah, it's funny because this is off topic, but like, they never seem to make any sense. They try to flip it around on us and try to say that we're uneducated.
We're the racist,
we're racist or we're uneducated. But I'm like, how are we uneducated on something that's about us? You're the one uneducated because you're talking about something that has nothing to do with you.
Like the whole Bachelor thing. I know this is way off topic, but let's just talk about this.
Yeah, because there's some stuff that's been popping up lately with the whole, you know, the new Bachelor, Matt, and like one of the contestants, Rachel. What's her last name, y'all?
Rachel something. I don't know. I don't really care to know her last name. Well, basically, she went to a plantation party in 2018, and in high school, she was known for being very racist and saying racist things. She comes from a very like not so kind family, very conservative and right-winged or whatever. Basically, she said a lot of racist stuff, did a lot of racist things, went on to the show knowing about that. So my thing is, if you're going to go on a national TV show, and if you've changed so much, you would have addressed it way before the TV show.
Yeah, because you would have set the record straight.
You would have known that that's going to come out. You knew that was going to come out eventually. So that just goes to show that she has not changed as a person, first of all. Yeah. She is still racist. And just because I said this in the comment when I was arguing, I was like, oh, so now that she's in love with a biracial man, I was like, which means half white, half black. So not a full black man. Mm-hmm. Doesn't make her not racist anymore because she finds him attractive or she can fall in love with him. That doesn't just go away. You have to educate, step out of yourself, step into someone else's shoes, and understand and educate yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
because I know it's a lot of people want to apologize after their past has come up. I'm like, that seems very ungenuine to me because I'm like, you really would have addressed this before. Like, you would not be talking about, because trust me, she would not apologize about it if it never came out. She got caught with her pants down. I was like, shoot. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, obviously, me and Shay know this from obviously arguing with people, but like, if you are white, you're going to want to defend a white person. You're automatically going to want to defend your own race. So, I mean, that's how society, like, you know, quits and stuff like that. But, I mean, just stop trying to fight black people's fights. You know what I mean? Because, like, you're not...
The whole thing is we were mad because she never apologized, she never addressed it. So all we really wanted was an apology and for you to, you know, say, hey, I'm going to further educate myself, blah, 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 like that was wrong with me. But no, like, it was for her to apologize to us, not for her to apologize to you. So this has nothing to do with you. Yeah. So step out of the conversation and let black people stay in the conversation.
Because
it's not
like
about
you guys, some white people, y'all just can't mind your own business. Like leave us alone sometimes. Like literally like back off like a little bit. Like,
and we're talking. I feel like I'm specified. We are talking about racist white people, because I know some other white people like categories. We are talking about the white people who are uneducated, who don't understand, who like to pick fights like that.
Yeah, because I understand there are some white people who are, I guess you could say, woke, who do understand some stuff is like that are happening. So like that we are not referring to.
And I understand the white people who are on our side, who defend us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes y'all just need to take a seat in the back. Just stay in the back. We're up front right now. We need to fight this fight. So, I just wanted to address that because that happened today, and I gotta fight with the ignorant sometimes because it's so easy. And then like they'll be like, I'm not racist, and they'll start arguing with you, blah blah, and then they call you the N-word. I'm just like, I thought you just said you weren't racist, and then you call me the N-word, and then you block me before I can respond to you, loser. We're back on topic. I know you wanted to insert some pictures into the podcast that we wanted to show of the after effects of the experiment, so we definitely are going to put a warning in. These pictures are very graphic.
Yes. It shows literally the aftermath of like how like his head looked after all like the radiation like experiments that were done on him. So yeah. We're also gonna show some pictures of like the things that they would use to experiment on like black women, stuff like that, to show they would do like C-section experiments and stuff on us.
So
like,
just imagine
not even pregnant either, just doing C-section
just
experiments.
Because just imagine like laying on a table, being cut open, no anesthesia, you're awake, you're feeling everything,
and it's being done multiple times on you.
To caveat off that, I just want you guys to have an understanding of these things. Like, it's Black History Month. Like, of course we want to talk about, Black Panther Party, all these things. We just want you guys to be educated because the school system doesn't talk about these things. We go out of our way to educate ourselves, on our history and everything, because again, us going to school, we're not taught about ourselves. So we have to go out of our way to learn about who we are. Obviously it's not like going out of our way, but like the fact that in a history class, the only thing I learned about myself is slavery, and that's it. Yeah. My people did nothing else but slavery. Okay. And
then on top of that, you keep wanting to raise up these white people who did absolutely nothing, who had slaves, who did all of these things, who literally, you have statues of them trying to praise them, and it's just like,
they did do something. They did conquer, they killed, they colonized, they did stuff.
Oh, you're right.
They did stuff. Don't discredit them. They did stuff, but it has trickle down effects to where we are today. Yeah. And we just want people to understand that, because when people say, "Oh, it's in the past," it may be in the past, but the past affects the present.
Yeah, because obviously I feel I'm gonna keep referencing things, but in my criminal justice class, there's this term called social norms, and the social norms is basically what's accepted by society at that time. So at that time, social norms was slavery, even though it was not correct, because just because something's a social norm does not mean that it's correct or that it's right. And so today we count slavery as it's not a social norm, but then racism is a social norm because people think that it's right, but when it's really not right. And I just feel like it just shows like that nothing has changed. You know what I mean?
Nothing has changed. But just to cap off the podcast today, educate yourself. Don't be ignorant. Don't jump into a conversation if you don't know what you're talking about, because you will get schooled. We will jump you. Yeah. We will jump you in that conversation.
I think can we just talk a little bit about Judas and Black Messiah?
Oh yeah. That's why we dressed up today. Yeah. Fred Hampton. I'm gonna say he was a good-looking man. I'm attracted. It was a great movie, very emotional. It didn't really talk about who he was before he joined the Black Panthers. It kind of jumped into
like during.
So from like the age from the age of like 18 to 21, where his life ended. 21 years old, he died. But basically, the government, the FBI, was spying on him, saying like, we can't have a black uprising because it will destroy the white way of life. The white way of life, which means keeping the black man down. So they did not want a black messiah. So what they did is, sometimes it's your own people that come against you. They hired a black man, because he did pay him, so yeah, that's hiring, to infiltrate the Black Panther community, Black Panther Party, and to get information. And the program was illegal, and it was called COINTELPRO. So basically, they had him go and get information, like basically to plot and plan to kill Fred Hampton. And the whole movie kind of talks about that, and how he was 100 rounds shot into his apartment while he was laying next to his pregnant wife.
Yeah, and on top of that, he wasn't even shot by any of the bullets. They went in afterwards when he was still alive, because I don't want to give anything away, but basically
they did shoot him, but he was still alive, and they went in there and they were like, oh, he could make it, and then they shot him dead twice, like head.
But then also again, he was knocked out because of what was given to him and stuff like that. But no, but like I put down, because I have my notes right here. It says how the police actually had like lots of like people out there kind of like spying, like being like rats, I guess you could say. Like I said, like Fred Hampton, like Malcolm X, and MLK. I mean, those are all people who had hits out on them. I mean, that's why they literally were assassinated.
That's what the government does. They see a black uprising, and mind you, they try to say that black people coming up and us escaping the system that they have put in place for us is wrong, and that we're the dangerous ones. But you're the ones who are coming and killing our leaders, killing people.
We're the assassinators.
We're the assassinators. We're feeding our communities, and you want to take that away because you want to be in control. You want to say how our life goes.
And literally in the movie, they compared the Black Panther Party to the KKK.
What's funny is the KKK has done more damage to America, to the black community, than the black community itself. But yet, there has never been a secret program to infiltrate the KKK, because America is based on the KKK, which is killing black people, killing anybody who is not white. So, sorry, a little worked up.
Fine.
But I love that movie. I'm probably gonna watch it again. I got emotional, but Fred Hampton's son, who is Fred Hampton Jr., and his wife, they are still alive. I definitely recommend the movie. They show pictures at the end. I mean, obviously you can Google what they look like, but great movie, 10 out of 10. That's why we're dressed up today. But yeah, that's the cap off the end of this podcast. Make sure you subscribe, follow our socials, which will be somewhere over here down in the bio. But yeah, thanks for watching, and this is Local Black Girls Podcast.